What is up, fellow travelers? Aaron the Old Man Gamer here, and today we have some low sodium game time. So, for those of you wondering what low sodium game time is, well, the thing is, I'm old, and my blood pressure is too damn high. So, my doctors told me that I have to cut out the sodium in my diet. And one of the things that gives me an endless supply of salt is Dark Souls 3. So we're going to do Dark Souls 3 low sodium style. And by low sodium, we mean we're going to bypass a couple bosses that are optional that do nothing but make my blood pressure too damn high. So we are starting a new game here. This is my new character. We are starting off as a warrior today. We're going to be doing primarily a strength build with pyro backup. So we're going to be using some pyromancies, mostly to get rid of riffraff. There's a couple monsters that are weak to fire or dark they're kind of fodder monsters. They're really not very dangerous. But for the most part, we're going to be hitting stuff with big weapons, typical Dark Souls style. But as for the bosses we're going to bypass, they're all optional ones. So they're going to be the ones that people know as an endless series of salt. So we're talking Dark Eater Midir, we're talking Slave Knight Gael, and we're talking the Nameless King. So, background for Dark Souls 3, I have played this game several times. I have beaten all of the bosses in the game at least once. In the case of Nameless King, I've beaten him 3 or 4 times. Midir I've beaten once. I had to do the Pestilent Mist Cheese on him because he was just driving me nuts. Slave Knight Gael I've beaten a couple times. But from my experiences, what I get out of beating them isn't really all that much. So we're not going to do those guys. Because, as I've said, my blood pressure is too damn high, and the medication that I would need to buy to lower it is a little bit too expensive for me. So if you want to see somebody beat those bosses, there's plenty of guys online that have done it already. So we're not doing that. We're not about that life. We're just going to be playing some Dark Souls 3 and chilling right here. So we are here in the Cemetery of Ash. We've just come back out of the grave, starting off. Also, you'll notice that we're playing the Japanese version of Dark Souls 3, not the US release. The reason for this is because I like the Japanese key set for dodging and all of that. So, in the Japanese version, you use the circle key for affirmation. So when you see something that says OK and it has a key thing, the Japanese version will have the circle key. The American version will have the X key, or the cross key if you're Japanese. But I happen to like doing the rolls and stuff using the X key as opposed to the circle. So that's why we're doing it that way. And also, when I got the Fire Fades edition of the Japanese edition, it came with a lot of cool extras that you couldn't get in the US version. So I got a full soundtrack CD. I got a bunch of other stuff like postcards and maps and junk like that. So it was well worth picking up for me because, for the most part, I've played this game so damn many times that I know where most of the stuff is from memory. And I know what most of the stuff is, so even if I can't read the kanji, I could still pretty much get through this game without a problem. Alright, well, we got this crystal beast over here. So the Crystal Beast is supposed to be a more mature version of the Crystal Lizard that drops little upgrade items for us. But I've always wondered why they never went full bore and had like a great worm version of this monster. So I always thought that would have been kind of a cool boss to have. Oh, damn it. So it happens you distract yourself. Should have had my shield out, but you know. You play through the game a couple times, you think you know what you're doing, and then you get caught by something when you're not paying attention properly. Here's me speculating about, hey, maybe they could have stuck in a cool new boss that was like, you know, like a great worm version of the crystal lizard. That would have been kind of cool, to tell you the truth. Alright, now I gotta get back over there and get my souls. Just taking everybody to Backstab City here today. Alright. I go worry about Crossbow Boy here. Alright, buddy. No shooting. Shooting stuff at people is bad, especially if you're shooting burning stuff at them. Anyway. Let's go get our souls here really quick. Alright, buddy. Oh, God damn it. Almost had him, too. Well, there's a reason why they tell you to turn back here. It's taken me a little bit to get my Dark Souls mojo back. It's one of those things you don't play for a little while, you get kind of used to other key sets. I've been playing Code Vein for quite a while. So, I'm kind of used to doing stuff in the Code Vein style. Yeah, and the keys on your controller are different for hitting and dodging and stuff, so I gotta get back into the right controller set. Alright. Doing a little better this time. Starting to feel the controls a little bit better again. That's the thing about Souls, is once you've played it a couple times, you get back into it. It's like riding a bike, you never really forget. What? What? Oh, that was BS. Oh, we're getting better. Like I said, it takes some time to get the old Dark Souls muscles working again. Alright, let's go get our souls back here. Okay, there we go. It took a little more resources than I wanted, but that's a nice 4,000 souls right there. So we're gonna take ourselves over this way. Okay, a crossbow boy. We're not having any of that here. Okay. First bonfire of the game. Alright, let's see what we got over here. Okay, there's one guy over here. Okay, let's see. Titanite Shard over this way. Okay, we're going to need that for later. Plunging attack. And of course there's this guy. Okay, now we have our friends down below. Now that was rude. But we need those fire bombs, otherwise I wouldn't have come down here. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm not big on going back there just to repeat all this mess again. So here's our old buddy Hidetaka Gundyr. Hidetaka Gundyr's just kind of chilling over here. And you know what? We actually had a lot more of a problem with that Crystal Beast than we did with Hidetaka Gundyr. But we got lucky. One of the things about Hidetaka Gundyr is if you have the axe, you can do a buff on there so you do more damage. And if you two-hand it, you're automatically going to be doing more damage because you're adding a strength bonus to it. And from there, when he's changing or waking up, we actually have the ability to lay in and do a bunch of damage to him before he can attack us. So by using that combination, we're basically able to do Gundyr down before he even had a chance to get going. You know, when you have that kind of capabilities, is always really good. So we're going to be going around here in Firelink Shrine, picking up some stuff, doing a little exploration. Bad dog. Yeah, I can't believe how many times that dog freaked me out when I started playing this. The very first time I went here, basically damn near pissed my own pants. That thing just jumped out at me like, oh my god, the heck is that thing? And it turned out to be a dog. So, learn to have a shield handy when I'm dealing with those guys. Okay, there's Uchikatana guy up there. We're not going to mess with him right now. Yeah, mostly because the Uchi is a nice dex weapon, but we're not going for a dex build, so swinging around a katana is not exactly a good idea yet. So we are going to head on over to the high wall, and then we'll end this episode here. We're going to keep these things down to half an hour, kind of like old school game time. You know, break this up into chunks. Probably do one boss per episode if we get that far. To leave the Sword Master, we're going to go back over into Firelink, talk to the Firekeeper, the Shrine Maiden who sells stuff, Andre the Blacksmith, who's our friend from Dark Souls 1.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end I am at thy side. Very well. Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Alrighty, let's see what we've got here. So we've got 16 strength, which is pretty good for now. I'm going to bump luck up by 1 because we want more item drops. A little extra in dexterity. Get up to 18 strength. And I need some vitality. And let's see. Don't need any attunement yet. We're not going to be using a lot of weapon arts. We'll probably bump that up later once we start using pyro. Let's see, stamina, equipment load, we want to boost that up a bit. Let's go up to 16 vitality. So we'll need to start upgrading this later on. Once we get past Vort, we can start working in some additional points to that. I'll probably be doing some farming at some point. I won't show that on screen because, face it, it's boring doing the same stuff over and over again. I'm going to try to get maybe a great axe or maybe a halberd because the hollows in the next area will drop that. All I have to do is just beat him a few times and then that'll be sort of the way to go.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
I appreciate that, Firekeeper. I really do.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont, no?
Yeah, people have this creepy laugh when they talk to us. Not sure why that is, but it's sort of prevalent in this game. So we're going to get rid of some of these old souls here. Okay. Okay, it's not letting me sell this, so we'll leave that as it is.
Ashen One, be sure to bring more souls.
Yeah, that's not a creepy laugh at all. No, what am I doing here? Use this. I don't need this anymore. Now I want to add this on here. And put our fire bombs on. We'll get black fire bombs later. Alright, we should have enough to get another level.
Ashen One, produce the coiled sword at the bonfire. The mark of ash will guide thee to the land of the lords. To Lothric, where the homes of the lords converge.
Okay, well, we'll do that in a minute.
Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Alright, so what we need is... I would like some more vitality, really. Endurance, stamina. Let's see. What do we get for strength? That. We don't get anything for dexterity. This is a strength-based weapon, so let's bump up vitality a bit.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
Yeah, one of the things about the Firekeeper is that when she says touch the darkness within her, apparently from what I've heard, that underneath her skin is just this large mass of humanities. So if you play Dark Souls 1 and you get into the area where Manus lives, down in the depths, so when you go into Ulasil and you go into the deepest area where the abyss is, there's a lot of these things that are look like black ghosts that float around. Those are called humanities. And you use them as they were sort of like embers, but they were for making you human again, because you were undead and you would retain your humanity by using the humanities. And so they were like part of the Dark Soul or something like that. And basically, from what I understand, the Firekeeper is just a mass of that with the human's outer coating. It sounds kind of creepy, but, it sort of explains why she says that. Because otherwise, it sounds kind of like weirdly sexual, It's like you sit there and go, okay, what do you mean by touching the darkness within you? But, yeah, it's a little bit of a possible trivia thing. Don't know where I heard that from, but I think the reason I heard that is because I'd asked somebody about, why did she say that, and that was the response I got. And the person I talked to didn't really know where they heard that from, so you take that with a grain of salt. But here we are in the High Wall. So for those of you who can't read Japanese, it says High Wall of Lothric. So here we are. Just take in a second to just see all that awesome artwork. One of the things about Dark Souls 3, even Dark Souls 1 to a lesser degree, the land itself is very, very beautiful. You just look at this and go, wow, this is cool. You look at all that detail. Well, anyway, we're going to end it here. We'll pick up here after in the next episode. I might do some farming. I'm going to try to see if I can't get that great axe, because this axe is pretty cool, but we want something a little bit heftier, does a little more damage. Yeah, because one of the things about Dark Souls, if you're playing a strength-type build, you want a big weapon to whack stuff with. And so a great axe is a good early-on choice. You can farm them. There's a bunch of hollows. See that guy moving around down there? He's an axe guy. So if we have enough luck and we can just beat him a bunch of times, he'll drop that axe for us. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully next time when we convene again, I will have a new weapon and I will have enough stats to use it. Otherwise, we'll be rocking this basic axe for a while. So until then, safe travels to you all, and we will convene again next time for more low sodium game time with Dark Souls 3.